Hello, Mithril here once again, and it's time for the commentary on the first two stages of Tier 2, so let's get right to it with Shidy's Wily Tower. Snowrun Pyro. I'm pretty sure that there are about as many bosses in this level as there are enemies. Like, all the screens in the level are completely featureless empty rooms, and then the occasional unmodified engine boss. Question marks? So, yeah, seeing him 2 stages in a row, I was pretty sure that Quint was a devkit boss. I wasn't sure about Voltman, or whoever that second one was. I'm not really familiar with that one. I don't know if that's a fan creation or what. I'm sure we'll find out sooner or later. But anyway, apparently I guess they were all devkit bosses. Joopy Hornet. You could have done a lot better with the graphics instead of just using black backgrounds. The actual level was only about 40 seconds long, minus the bosses. Angel. I don't think I can give many points for a boss rush that's using just vanilla assets. The sections in between the bosses don't feel very planned or consistent either, but more like filler areas to bridge the gaps between the bosses. This level also lacked testing, as one of the respawn points behaves weirdly due to the boss door above it. That's interesting to know. I'm not sure I would have actually noticed that. Angel, if you're watching, tell us in the comments, what happened there? Where was that? That would be interesting to hear about. Gariri. Normally I like the idea of a stage like this, but this one just isn't that good. The level design is awful. Most of the level is either horrible enemy placement, long empty sections, or other fairly serious stage layout issues. Also, there's a pretty serious camera glitch here. Anyway, there's nothing else I can say here. It could have been much, much better. And A-Spark. Can it be? Do my eyes deceive me? Volt, Komuso, Quint. Folks, we've got the overused devkit boss Royal Flush. What about the level? Level? Looking at these comments and thinking back to what I just played, I can kind of get behind these. The areas between the boss fights, they did feel kind of lacking. There was at least some effort put into them, like using actual stage graphics instead of just the default devkit gray featureless walls. So I can give it that, but yeah, a lot of the areas did feel kind of empty, come to think of it. The boss fights, I enjoyed them, but I didn't know they were all devkit bosses. That second one, Komusu Man, I'm guessing maybe that's from Challenger from the Future? I haven't played all the way through that game, so that's just a guess. But yeah, anyway, it's the kind of reason why I'm not sure I want to go ahead and do the first arena, because even if they are devkit bosses, I am kind of enjoying being surprised by them from time to time, so there is that. But yeah, it was an okay stage, it was definitely playable, but yeah, a bit more work probably could have gone into it. And so now we have Concord Butterfly's Airflow Hubble, Gariri's least favorite. Snowrun Pyro, a very, very meh level. A lot of the enemies placed here can be easily avoided, and there's large chunks of level where every challenge is just laughably skippable. There's this long vertical drop with a bunch of enemies that you can just find a hole in near the top and fall down the entire shaft and never get hit. There's a room with like 3 Crystal Joes that you can just get out of before they can fire. There's a metal gumball machine mini-boss that you can just snipe from a ladder with no danger whatsoever. The only real parts of the level that are threatening are the parts that are really obnoxious. The beginning part with Apache Joes and the part with the Guts lifts. Apache Joe part speaks for itself, and the Guts lift part just has annoying jumps due to the lyrics and weirdly placed drop lines. The fan part at the end is okay. Then there's a Quint fight, and then the level's over. Yeah. Joopy Hornet. This level was badly designed all the way through. At the beginning, you put like 3 Copter Joes, 1 of those missile guys, a line of Mets, and 2 of those laser-shooting spacewalkers. It's all too much and basically requires weapons, which isn't good. During the indoor portion, it's too hard to see the split in the Gutsman platform lines. It's not very visible. There are blue squares instead of black ones, when you're focusing on avoiding enemy attacks. Most of the fans weren't attached to any other blocks and looked out of place. The screen scrolls in the Quint boss fight because the stop-scroll objects weren't placed correctly. Really? Huh. Didn't notice that. Honestly, I don't think this level was designed with other players in mind. My advice to you would be to have other people test your level before you submit it. Angel. I'm having serious issues taking this level seriously in any regard. It's so random, inconsistent, and messy. In some sections, it doesn't even work properly with, for instance, the Met Dispenser despawning when you leave and re-enter the screen. Really? That's kind of funny. Every element in this level looks to be placed with so little thought to gameplay that I have to wonder whether it was even tested at all. Enemies repeatedly respawn in places where you have to take a moment and concentrate. Many obstacles are unfairly placed, others are completely useless, there's no flow, no coherency, and overall, I just didn't have fun playing through this stage. Gariri. Is this level even finished? I'm asking this because the level design is awful. The amount of enemies there is ridiculous, and they happen to be perfectly placed in order to make the experience as uncomfortable as possible. Other than that, most of the level is extremely empty, with overly long passages and dead ends, not to mention the forced weapon usage, as well as cases where weapon usage is optional, but will let you skip over painful sections. Also, there's a severe lack of checkpoints. Why did this level need to happen? Even the most basic stuff like graphics seem to go downhill after a few screens, not to mention the level is a bit buggy. This is an infuriating level to play through, and it could have been much, much better. And A-Spark. This next case is a bit weird. Brought in from a festival or some such. I am the Queen of Friends! The only coherent words we got were Checkpoint and Apache Joe. So, do we call a doctor or a vet? This stage, man. This stage. And I'm a little worried that I see two orbiting icons over there to the right. That's going to be fun for next time. But anyway, on this. This stage, yeah, it was painfully long and with too few checkpoints. People complain, like, about the checkpointing in, for example, Mega Man Unlimited. But this was a thing. The respawn of enemies, yeah, especially the Apache Joes, you could see the trouble I was having with that, and yeah, a lot of areas weapon usage pretty much feels forced, like how many times I got shot back down by the Mets once getting over that wall. And yeah, my biggest issue by far was definitely the Guts platforms. If you're gonna have Guts platforms, make the areas where they're going to drop more clear. And that's the weirdest part, is the first area that has the Guts lifts, they have that, to where the drop areas are the thinner part, where it's very obvious to see where it's going to fall. In those areas where I lost patience or just didn't notice them, I fully blame myself. The later Guts lift areas, where it stopped using that kind of marker, that, I blame the creator. That just wasn't good. That was a thing. So, yeah. This is the start to Tier 2. We're finding least favorites. I'm scared. With that, that's all for this one, though. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series so far, and I shall see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well. Jewel Satellite rules all! Jewel Satellite rules all!